This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast.
We are back.
Honey, welcome back.
Welcome back, my love. Welcome back, gentle audience. Thanks for your patience. We had a bye week. We batched a lot of content prior to the holidays. Batched 3 episodes, but not 4. Couldn't do it.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. Honey. Let's do a short and sweet and quick Heated Rivalry, Part 1. Thoughts. The people have been asking. Can I tell you why they've been asking?
Sure.
So we know that I have a unique connection to gay men because I was married to one. And you have a unique connection to the world of sport because athletics was your background. And we also happen to have a very wonderful, tight-knit group of gay friends. I would say the majority of our friends are queer. Mm-hmm. We often look at each other and we're like, we're the most boring ones in this lot.
Objectively, they're much more interesting people than just a bunch of straights. Much more interesting people. It's a better time.
It's a better time.
Yeah.
It's more loving. It's more inclusive. It's more hilarious. It's more fun. Anyway, no judgment, no shade. It's just the truth. So we've had a lot of folks saying, have you two watched Heated Rivalry yet? Can you give us your thoughts and can you do a podcast?
Gay sex hockey show.
And they're like, and everyone knows how much I love smut and erotica and how much we celebrate it. And so we started watching, a couple nights ago?
Yeah, it's really fucking good. How many episodes have we gotten through? Like 4 to 6?
We just finished the 5th.
Okay.
Well, 5th was my favorite so far.
Yeah, we're not going to do any spoilers.
We're not going to do any spoilers, but if you have considered watching, please do so. Please do so.
What was your motivation to start this show and then talk about it?
Everyone asking for it. And every single one of my clients over the past few weeks has popped into session and gone, so Heated Rivalry. And, honey, it has not depended upon someone's orientation. Every single client has been watching it.
I'm assuming we're going to get a bunch of people that are listening to our voices right now because they want like a reaction or they want information. So can you briefly tell about your background and why it's appropriate that we're talking about this?
Hi, hello. If you're new here and you're only here because of Heated Rivalry, I am Lauren Elise Rogers. I am a certified holistic sexuality educator and embodied intimacy and relationship coach. And I work with individuals and partners all over the world. And I work on overcoming sexual obstacles and relational obstacles. And I tug this here partner of mine in on these partnership podcasts every week. And we talk about the things that are coming up in our relationship and the things that we are viewing and experiencing, because early on in my work, I found that clients of mine were frustrated that these tools, these things that they were learning were not implementable overnight. And I wanted you to know that we have struggles too, because it is normal and it is healthy. And I wanted you to see 2 straight whites work on their problems. Those are his words, not mine. And have conflict on camera, go back, watch, and have seasons of discord and separateness and growth and becoming and lovey-dovey stuff. And I wanted humanness. So that's what the Partnership Podcast is.
My name's Trey. I'm her current husband, and I do the laundry.
So well.
Okay, let's get, okay.
Was that
Heated
good?
Rivalry.
Was that a good cut?
That was so good. Heated Rivalry, babe. Go.
Okay, so Heated Rivalry
Cook,
is
honey.
a new show on HBO. It's a Crave original, and it came from a book series. And if you know more about Heated Rivalry, please put it down in the comments and stuff, because I'm not that familiar. Shocker, since I work in the world of sexuality education, there is no way that I could possibly read every piece of smut out there in the market. There's just no way. But enough of my clients were talking about the show that I was like, we really need to watch it, because I'm obsessed with Dr. Jack Morin's Four Cornerstones of Eroticism. Do you remember what these are, my
Not
love?
at all. Go ahead.
Okay. So they are longing and anticipation, violating prohibitions, search for power, and overcoming ambivalence. His primary premise of his work in the erotic mind is that attraction plus obstacle equals excitement. And so when client after client is coming to me saying, hey, Lauren, this show aroused me. This show has turned me on. This show has made me want more sexual encounters and opportunities for play with my partner. I am always intrigued as to what cornerstones are truly showcased in a show like this. And I'm always curious for and hungry for relationships and love affairs depicted on screen that are not heteronormative. We've got too many of those stories. We do. And so I just had to watch it to see what cornerstones were truly present, to see how sex was being depicted on screen, because you and I sit in these chairs all the time and talk about how pornography and media are the number one sources of sexuality education for people in the United States of America. And so I wanted to see how sex was depicted on screen, how relationship was depicted on screen. And so we've been watching it.
Yeah.
And it's a show about hockey and love and sex and desire and want and so many other things, like being gay in sport and family dynamics and so many good things. So anyway, that's my little recap. What have you thought so far?
Okay, production-wise, shout out to fucking Crave Productions as well as HBO, because the first thing I noticed...
Get comfy.
This is depicting the NHL. They call it the MHL, Major Hockey League.
Yeah.
And just, if you're listening on the production team, thank you for casting actors that are fucking jacked, that actually look like professional athletes. Because one of the things that pisses me off the most is when you cast a me. I'm 5'8" on a good day, 150 pounds, and it's like, that's the fucking quarterback. No, it's not. Professional athletes are goddamn monsters. So thank you for casting the two main characters. They showed their asses in like one of the first ones when they were in the shower. They both got fat hockey asses.
Trey was delighted.
Yeah. So from a former athletic operations, as what I used to do, thank you for casting actors that actually look like professional athletes.
We watched so many seasons of The L Word. It was like our favorite show for a whole chunk of time. I mean, we watched so many seasons and loved the show. And we were just so perturbed about the casting for the tennis players that they didn't look like tennis players who are so muscular and their quads are like steel. And it's just always, as this guy who has an acting background and an athletics background, he's constantly like, why did they do that? It's so unbelievable.
I'm going to cook for a sec. If you're a professional female tennis player, you are 5'10", like 168 minimum. I've been around professional female tennis players. All these women could beat the shit out of me. Is it a kink? We're not here to talk about that right now.
So true.
So yeah, L Word, the racket was swinging her in the L Word.
Just consistently would be like, oh, we'd like love an entire episode and be like, but.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't show. Anyway. Okay. All right. So that is fabulous. What are we talking about? Gay sex hockey. Okay. Yeah. For me, this is the very first time. This is the most amount of hockey and soft core gay porn that I've ever watched in my life. And I guess I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what happens next. It's a beautiful, beautiful show where it just shows the dynamic and the love stories of two hockey players, it's great, like if you're a sports person, because it's the first overall pick in the draft and then the second overall pick in the draft. One guy's Russian, the other guy's American with a twist where he is not white. So I think he's half white, half Asian, which adds a new dynamic of like, this could be a superstar who was not just your traditional white guy. I love that. What else? Oh, and then there's another parallel, like romance between another player and then a guy, a barista that he meets. So it's I really like it. Baby, you go here. Okay. Can you lead this one? Yeah. Especially if we're staying on the like grooves of what it's providing for your clients, the turn-ons. Oh, hey, good news. Or not good news, just news. The sex scenes do nothing for me.
It is interesting because I work with clients all the time on the fluidity of things like orientation, things like romantic attraction, things like sexual attraction. And if anything was going to do it for a certain partner of mine, it would be this show, because these are beautiful, beautiful athletes. And it is lovely, honey, to watch you watch the show with no ew. There has never been an ew or yuck in your body. It is so gorgeous. And no, it is not a turn on for you, these sex scenes, in the way that it is arousing and a turn on for folks who are turned on by that body. And if there were any male bodies that were going to turn you on, it would be this, because they have cast well.
Maybe. I mean, maybe that's just not my type. Maybe I need like a small, petite, like feminine man or something like that. Like 110 pounds soaking wet with a fat dick.
Like an artist.
Or maybe a tiny dick. I don't know. I don't know what type of like male archetype that I'm going to be looking for. But what I do know is that I'm not ready to suck a dick.
Not yet.
Just
Not yet.
quite yet. Let's get back to this one.
I think that straight men should watch this show, though. And I think they should watch it because there are so many worlds of sport in which it is still incredibly scary to be gay.
Okay.
And I believe that watching stories like this are good for us all. I believe it expands us as human beings. I think that many people would shy away from that under ooh, ick, gay. And I think that the predominant, I would love to see the viewership on this, because I bet you anything it is women, because they have less internalized homophobia, and men who do not identify as straight. And I think that the people who need to be watching this show are straight men.
Why?
Because it expands us. I don't think they need to be turned on. I think they need to see the lived experience. I think that we learn the best as human beings through story, through knowing someone. I think in this world right now, we're doing a lot of othering. We're doing a lot of that's their fault, or they did that, or pointing fingers in every which way. And I think if we just knew a person, if we just knew the person behind the expression, behind the desire, that we'd be like, oh, well, wait, one of the characters' name is Shane, the other is Ilya. They're not an evil person. They just want to be with the person they love, right? That's not trying to corrupt a sport or push an agenda. That's not an agenda-driven thing. That is a call of the heart, a pull of the tug of the body, of the soul. And I think that we expand as human beings when we know more people, when we're exposed to things that we wouldn't have typically been exposed to. And that most often homophobia comes from our families of origin, our cultures of origin, our sport of origin, our communities, our religious systems. And that stories like this, yeah, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful.
I mean, it's a good show.
And it's a good show.
It's a what happens next.
Yeah. Like, it's not Lauren wants you to watch this because you didn't get enough sex ed, and so this is like your replacement for sex ed. Arguably, it is a wonderfully written show. So
no, I love all the hockey scenes. It looks like they're in a professional arena. It's great.
We keep saying like, oh, this was not a low budget.
No,
this was well done. So in addition, these are the cornerstones of eroticism that I find are incredibly prevalent in this show, and it is longing and anticipation. So these two are on opposing hockey teams most of the time, and they are apart and then together and then apart and then together. And that makes for a ton of excitement. Mm-hmm. When there's an attraction plus an obstacle, it makes excitement. Then we have the added obstacle, of course, of no one can know that we are gay.
Yeah.
So I work with a lot of my clients who are in gay relationships on this exact thing.
Where they're closeted?
Where they had to be closeted for a lot of their lives.
Sure.
So their sexuality was nurtured in the shadows. And it breaks my ever-loving heart. Because for the majority of human beings, there's an obstacle to the one they want their less lusty object of desire. There's an object to get over. But for someone who is existing in a world in which there is still oppression towards their orientation, an obstacle can just be existing on your hockey team.
Yeah.
No one would have given two shits if he had been texting a woman, which is what they, spoiler, they put it in their phones as a female.
Yeah.
There's no obstacle there, but there is an obstacle built into being with the person you want simply by orientation, which is something my clients and I work on all the time. Because what that can do is lead us to chase high stakes obstacles like that. Because once that's gone, once we're out, once we're with the person we love, that's no longer present, which is great for the nervous system, really sad for the erotic mind. Because that's really exciting to try to overcome. That brings me to the cornerstone of overcoming ambivalence. These two have to feign ambivalence at all times, right? They'll be texting each other, and then a teammate will say, hey, did you see what Rozanov did? And they have to be like, huh? They have to pretend to be ambivalent towards each other for years, a decade.
Maybe. I think it starts in like 2000. It starts in the era of Blackberries, and then it goes into like the first generations of iPhones, which is fascinating.
It's been really fun.
It touches on the Sochi Olympics, which were in Russia, the Winter Olympics, because it's hockey. It touches on the like, hey, don't be gay in this country, which is wild. Like, if you're hearing this, I was raised in Southern California. I worked in restaurants when I was in my 20s. I worked in theater, and I worked in the movie industry. I was never raised with any type of learned stigma, and I never saw it for myself, and I never developed some type of like moral, like it's morally, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it from a religious view. I don't understand it from a moral view. And I think if you think that sexuality is build your own omelet, you got some work to do. Yeah. And then like, guess what the gay and the queer and the trans community, guess what 99% of them are trying to do? They're trying to make a little bit more money. They're trying to get a good meal. They're trying to pay their taxes.
And I always love that you always bring us around to like they're what brings beauty to this world too.
The gays?
Mm-hmm. There are
you like your wife's outfit? Hey, buddy, you like those high heels? Guess who fucking designed those? One of me? Kiss my ass.
That, the hatred that is still spewed, the fear that so many folks walk around feeling simply because of who they are attracted to.
Yeah.
I think
it's the fear of being judged. It's the fear of being ostracized by your peers. It's the fear of losing friends. And it's really beautiful where it touches on all that, where it's like, hey, we need to act this way because we have a lot on the line. And it's so interesting because they're both, as their careers get longer and longer, spoiler, they both end up being superstars in their profession. So they're the very top of their profession in a masculine-dominated, hetero-dominated dynamic.
Ooh, I know what I wanted to mention.
And it's like they're afraid they're going to lose their fucking Rolex sponsorships and stuff like that. It's wild. Coming out would cost them money and friends and yeah.
I always, speaking of, the film and television industry, it is my hope with the art that we consume that it does more than just entertain us, that it creates a dialogue, that we continue to think about it. And so shows like this one make me so thankful that everybody's talking about it. Great, they're talking about sex. I'm so glad that sex is depicted on camera. And I am so glad that there are several moments of check-ins, several moments of, consent is present in this show. And I am thankful for that. Great. more than anything, I hope we are talking about the dynamics at play in this show and the fear that still exists in professional sport. And the fact that, you could name one openly gay player in the NFL, your sport of
I
deepest
think so. I think there's one openly gay player.
And you know most everything about almost every player on that field.
Offense.
Every field.
Fantasy football wise, offense, honey. I can't steal defense valor. Go ahead though.
You really don't know defensive players? You couldn't do the same thing? I've never known that.
Heck no.
He can like rattle off wild stats.
It's not that wild.
It's fascinating. One thing I wanted to make sure we mentioned, and again, this is just part one. We've watched 5 episodes and we want to do a follow-up, but we just wanted to get one in.
Sure.
Was you said after we turned it off last night, I love how the women have been muses.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. What have you loved about what some of the strong female characters in this show have been? And what have you really, I have really enjoyed that too, but why did you say that?
These guys are essentially on an island and they're trying to find their own way, either individually or through each other. And there's a lot of walls to break down, and the 2 female characters have really been their guides to talking about it, being an outlet, like it being okay. And there's been some really beautiful moments where it's like, this is okay, here's permission, here's a place to talk about it, and like, this isn't unusual. Mm-hmm.
It's been such a beautiful contrast. And go ahead.
Also, I love you this way too. Yeah. Like this version of yourself is, you still got me. It's really nice.
It's been gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And have had tough conversations too. Like, you deserve better. What about that one dancing scene?
That was beautiful. Yeah, there's 3. Yeah, mm-hmm. Muse. Yeah, the women are muses in this show. It's really nice.
It just some like beautiful, like, you deserve a relationship out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't deserve to be hidden. Oh, my goodness.
You deserve to be happy.
Okay.
Yeah, you deserve to be happy.
Last thing we'll wrap up on is, I always love in a show, it's going to make me weep, when there is a parent who loves their child who's not heteronormative, and there is a daddy in the show who is so free with his I love yous, so wanting of his child, so respectful of his boundaries, so affirming. And it's just, may we all have more parents like that. And so again, when I say everyone should watch this show, I want parents to be watching this show too, because I long for a world when we don't assume that our children are straight, when we are curious about who they're going to become and who they're going to love, and that who and what that body is like that our child ends up loving matters not. That it's not, oh, I love you even despite your orientation, but it's, no, I love you, and who you love is equally important to me. And also it's important that you're not hidden and you do get into grad school, and I am here with you. And I long for us to see more parents like that depicted on screen who are just average loving daddies. Like where that's not a big thing. It's not even like a piece of the story. It's just, yes, daddy, I love you too. Right? He tries to get off the phone and he's like, yeah, you too. And his dad's like, what? Mm-hmm. What do you say? And he's like, I love you, Dad. Mm-hmm. You want to know what'll heal the world? That. And when we look at why so often these relationships are happening in secret, we can usually draw a straight line back to our own families would be ashamed of us. And so when we look at that character of Kip and how, he's able to stand more in home, right? He has that friend who says you can't be secret. He has a daddy who knows his full orientation. I just am like, are we watching? Are we watching the little things? It's just well written. It is well written. It is a good story. Every day we're like, we can't wait for our showtime tonight.
Yeah,
so we are excited to watch more tonight. We will keep you posted. Thanks for coming to this episode of the Partnership Podcast with Lauren and Trey. Take what you like, leave the rest. If you're interested in talking more with a sexuality educator and relationship coach, you can go to sexedforyou.com/free consult and request 15 minutes with me. Please be reminded that these are our opinions and our opinions only. You have a right to self-determination and informed decision making. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.